What's happening?
Nothing. I'm exhausted.
Why? What happened?
It was a night of really shitty sleep,
Spurred on by what?
or almost no sleep.
Are you kidding?
I mean, there was some, but just a lot of like intermittent waking up. I think I finally just threw in the towel and was like, screw it, I'm up around like 3:40.
Oof. Ouch. So you didn't sleep until that point much? You didn't sleep much then?
No, I mean, I fell asleep early-ish, like 9-ish, 9:30, something like that. And then
That's
woke up.
early.
That's pretty normal for me,
Me too.
but it is early. And then woke up probably like around 11:30, and then it was like just sleep for a few minutes, wake up, sleep, wake up,
Oh,
wake up, sleep, wake up. Yeah.
what's going on?
I don't know. I mean, all this stuff, right? I think one thing I need to do is I tend to answer these things and dig in at night, which is probably not the best idea because it's very, mentally stimulating to think through these things and kind of dig in. I guess there's one part of it being getting things out of your head and on the paper. And there's something that's supposed to be kind of relieving to some extent about that. But I think with some of these things, like the thoughts don't stop. Right. So I'd be writing all night.
How wonderful.
Could be, but maybe I start the process earlier in the day. I mean, I cherish sleep. Sleep is something I've worked extremely hard to improve on, like good sleep mechanics, and so I don't want to, I don't want to mess with that.
Oh God, no, not at all. Actually, it made me think because I generally journal before bed, but it's very much like a set journal exercise of letting go of the day. So not necessarily inviting any new thoughts in. So
Right.
I'd be like, what do I need to let go of today in order to like go into a new day tomorrow? Do I owe anyone any amends? So is there anyone I need to apologize to, or like, did my behavior negatively affect someone or myself? And like, can I make that apology now? And then gratitude. And I think that's probably, and once again, and I keep going on about this, it's one of the 12-step things. So it's like step 10 of the 12 steps. So it's not necessarily something that I came up with myself, but it definitely does help me set up. But sleep for me, oh my gosh, I cannot function as a human. I'm like a little toddler if I don't sleep. I'm awful, truly awful.
Yeah, awful. I'm not sharp. I mean, who knows what I'll say here. It may not make
Perfect.
any
I'm
sense.
so excited when you
Less-
texted me saying you hadn't slept.
less well, I think it's gonna be less profound and just more like, what did he say? That's not very articulate. Well, I don't even know what the hell he's talking about. So
I mean, how do you feel after yesterday, after sharing stuff that you hadn't previously shared on the podcast yesterday? Is
yeah,
that maybe impacting it?
I mean, listen, maybe, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I think in terms of that situation, that's like scratching the surface. So there's still a ton to think about, share whatever there. But yeah, I think that was definitely something. Well, I think I told you afterwards, I have probably written who knows how many social media posts surrounding like Suicide Awareness Month or those kinds of things that, something that I guess I just was never ready to do. Like I would have them written and then I'd be like, no, I'm not going to send this out. And then I just would leave it. And then, I think this was very beginning of 2009. So it's been a lot of years.
It's been a lot of years, but it's still there, right? I mean, something like that can't just go away. ever. I don't think.
It'll never go away. Never. You know, there are things. Yeah, I mean, that's the type of thing that that image will be burned into, you know, my brain forever. That's something I'll never lose. But you know, I don't know.
Yeah, I know you're tired, so we don't have to dig into that anymore today. I have to tell you, I'm kind of impressed with the course this 21-day challenge we're writing.
Yeah.
I mean,
explain what do you mean by that?
So we are creating this. We create 21-day challenges, right? We have a 21-day sugar-free challenge. We are doing, and we like to experience everything for ourselves. And I don't want to speak for both of us, but it's kind of like a team effort. So I also don't want to just be like me. Right. So that's why I'm using that language, just so you know. So the 21-day living authentically challenge, we decided, so like spur of the moment, that this is something that we should just do, right? And I would like to say divine intervention, 100%. So decided to create this 21-day living authentically challenge and go through it ourselves to see if it works before we put out the challenge to other people who may be interested in joining. And so writing the content, the daily content, as we go along. And okay, so here's the thing, like a lot of the stuff we need to move around and shift around. A lot of the themes are repetitive. We are on day 5 or 6. I'm not so sure anymore, but 5. I am doing the work. And so I've been doing it in the mornings. Today I did day 5's questions. Oh my God. It blew me out the water. I was literally like, wow, I don't know these very basic questions.
Oh, those were hard questions. Yes, basic, but I'm like, yeah, I 100% agree with those questions. I do think like you're, you know, to go back just a minute and talk about the 21-day challenges and this challenge, you know, in particular, there is something very interesting about the N of 1 experiment. Yeah. You know what I mean? Where
totally.
And it's cool because I think with us doing this first and then making it an available 21-day challenge, like, well, then it's our N of 1 experiment, right? So I have mine, you have yours going through this, and then other people will be able to do the same thing. And it's interesting too, because I even think about your other course, the sugar-free course, right? Like, I think anything you do as a challenge, and I think 21 days is great because of this idea of building habits, but I think anything you do that is a challenge, that it will be a challenge to you, and you get to see how you face that challenge day to day, and then pull lessons away from that challenge, goes into being authentic, like the authentic you. Right? Like, you are going to learn something about yourself, your beliefs, your values, your needs, all of those things with any challenge. You know what I'm saying? So it's yes. Like, I like that we started with this challenge, this, you know, of, you know, being authentic, your authentic self. That just sets up for continuously learning about you and how you face these things, right? I don't know.
No, that's so spot on. And I think the beauty of these challenges, and I think we've been able to take this, we've done a 90-day carnivore challenge together. We did like a 28-day cold plunge challenge together. I think the beauty of any of these challenges that we have done is that we don't just keep it to the physical. Like, so we're not just saying, oh, how's my body changing on a carnivore challenge? Or how is my, you know, how's my body changing on an ice barrel challenge, whatever we did. We're also saying, well, look, how does this affect me emotionally? and spiritually, and how can I take these lessons and apply it to other areas of my life? And that's what we're doing with these 21-day challenges, right? It's not just about like, oh, today stop eating chocolate with the sugar-free challenge and maybe cut out some soft drinks. It's like, why the fuck are you eating sugar? Why are you craving sweetness? Like, what is this like need inside you that needs to be filled, that you're looking for this external substance?
No, absolutely. I think at 100%. I think even you go into these with a goal, and maybe it is physical, and you come out
And
of it
superficial.
right. Like even the ice barrel challenge thing was like, I was like, how's it going to help me with recovery? And, like, how can I structure it so that I'm not interfering with hypertrophy gains and those types of things? And like, it didn't become that. It was like, how did this make me feel? Like dealing with this idea of stepping in this absolutely freezing water, figuring out a way to calm down, breathe through it, have some level of intention going into it. And then how did I feel afterwards with, well, to some extent, like defeating this, this challenge, this dragon set in front of me that like is terrifying, and then how did that carry throughout the day? Like those are some of the biggest things I learned from cold water versus like, how do my muscles feel? How did I
Or I lost
recover?
this amount of body fat, or whatever, like the research often can just
and that's
tell us
great, but there's something about, I mean, listen, we're kind of a little bit off track, but it was like, there was always this amazing quote from Greg, right? Where, now I'm flipping way back into CrossFit, but where he said that the biggest and most like profound adaptation to training in CrossFit happened between the ears.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, yeah, the physical stuff's amazing, but like, how's this translate into what you do every single day outside of the gym? Like,
we should have Greg. We should have Greg on as a guest.
I would love that.
Yeah, I'm sure he would be open to it. Okay, let's bring it back. So yesterday we discussed up to day 3, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So day 4 was, the theme for day 4 was, it was based on Eckhart Tolle or Tolle, I don't know how you pronounce his last name. His quote, instead of asking, what do I want from life? Rather ask, what does life want from me?
Yeah.
And it's that shift away from the self-centered, very like isolating view of myself in the world or yourself in the world, at rather making it bigger and saying, well, you know what? I mean, I don't want to play small anymore, or I shouldn't play small anymore, because I have these gifts and these talents and these strengths that I should be sharing with the world. And what is keeping me from doing that?
Yeah, that's interesting. I know it's a difficult question, but at the same time, it's probably pretty easy. At least in my mind.
Okay, so what are your unique gifts and talents? Because to me,
okay, but so that's what's hard. That's a hard question. Because
can you share it? Can you share it openly on this forum? Where
I think so. I don't know, because it was one of those things where like I had a lot of trouble with like, what are your unique gifts and talents that you possess? Like I don't know.
What?
I don't know. I mean, I think like, I don't know if it's like a gift or talent. Like these are like.
Oh, you're so hard on yourself.
Okay, so what is one? I mean, if I'm being honest, like, well, I feel like I'm fairly intelligent, right? Like,
you're so intelligent.
Not the smartest person, but I'm okay in there. I don't know that that's unique. I have a desire to help others, but that's not a talent. That's like, or a skill, or a gift. So what are my gifts and unique talents?
Gosh. Do you really have to like overanalyze it so deeply?
Everything. I will overanalyze absolutely everything.
I thought I had a crazy head when it comes to overanalyzing stuff.
Oh.
My fear here was more not in being like how unique or whatever. It was like, oh my God, I feel so shameful to acknowledge this externally to people, because what if they think I'm egotistical or full of myself, or it's that shrinking back that I don't want to make anybody else feel uncomfortable because I am showing up as myself authentically.
Yeah, no, and I think there's definitely some of that there, and I think that's yes, like I think there's some of that there, but at the same time, I think I overthink the question.
Yeah, you
It's
totally
probably,
did.
probably very easy. It's probably very easy, right? But I'm like, I am very literal, like to a fault, where like, okay, you're saying a unique gift and talent. That is something that most people don't have. So, and then I'm like, okay, well, I don't know, like.
Okay, Mike, what are your gifts and talents? They do not have to be unique, because I don't know if you are right. There may not be anything unique about any specific talent. I think what makes us unique as individuals is the combination of those.
Okay. Yes. All right.
Okay. So, Mike, what are your gifts?
Well, go through yours. Go through
What are your favorites?
Go through yours. Let's hear yours.
No, I'm too shy. I can't. That's why I have to ask you first.
My favorite talents. Well, I'm not extremely talented.
Oh gosh, you are killing me.
Like what? Like I can do CrossFit workouts well sometimes.
I don't know. You need to dig deep. I can give you 100 million things that I can see in you, but this is not for me to point out. This is for you to dig deep and find.
Yeah. Because a talent, I think I struggle with the word talent, but I would say some things that I think have served me well.
And served others well, right?
And served others well. So I think, like, one, I have this deep desire to help other people who have a really intense, like, passion for health and fitness. Obviously, that goes partially with number one. And then three, I think a willingness to learn and grow. And I think, like, I have tried to make it a point in life to be rigid where I have to, but flexible enough to learn and change and grow.
Is that like discipline and persevere? No,
I'm not sure.
Okay, we don't have to label it. Well done.
But like, so that's where I get hung up, is on like terminology. I have a hard time with that kind of stuff, and I will think myself completely out of it. Like, I'm super literal. It's very hard for me.
That's so funny. I'm all feeling and not anything else.
Well, this is it. It's pretty funny you say that, because I was thinking back to the prior conversations we've had, and I'm like, we have such an interesting dynamic and difference in, like, explanations and answering questions. You know what I mean? It's pretty funny.
It is funny. It is. I mean, and it's weird, I think, because we are so similar in so many ways.
Totally.
I mean, we have the same birthday,
exact birthday.
Same birthday, year, everything. I mean, not that necessarily means much, but
it depends on who you're talking to, right?
Well, if you talk to the astrologers,
that's what I mean.
You and I show up in very similar ways, for sure. So for me, with my unique gifts and talents, this is right now a very uncomfortable space for me to be in. To sit here, I feel so fucking vulnerable. Like, I would rather do anything than sit here and tell you what I think. You'd rather about tell myself.
Other people how good they are.
Yeah.
And their talents.
And you know me, I will go after anyone and be like, oh my God, you're so gorgeous. I love you. You're amazing. You deserve the best. But
I'm saying that because I've seen and heard you in those scenarios. Like, you're really good at doing that. But you have to turn it around now. Let's hear it.
I can't.
But we're not going to get past day 4, question 1.
Oh my God, this is so uncomfortable. So uncomfortable. Okay. This is what I wrote down. I'm just gonna have to read it to you because it's so fucking hard. Okay.
Do it. Just read it. Read it as if you're telling someone else.
I am telling you.
No, about them. That's what I mean.
Oh God. Okay. Oh my God. I love that. Actually, I sometimes have to do that with, and here's me avoiding the question still. I sometimes have to do that with how I treat myself. I have to be like, in this scenario, how would you treat your best friend? And
That
then
you're
treat
talking
yourself
to a
like
best
that.
friend.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's
Okay.
what you're doing now.
Okay, so these are things that I've heard from other people. So
Mm,
I'm so scared of like acknowledging myself. This is awful.
that's gonna be good. Come on. Let's do it.
You have no patience with me right now. Okay, my unique gifts or talents. I am like sunshine in human form. I bring joy, love, fun, enthusiasm. I'm great with people and relationships. I genuinely care deeply and want to make a difference in other people's lives. I want to be their best and greatest cheerleader, and I am able to inspire in that way. That's it.
I love that. And I would agree 100% with all that. And I just love the differences and how we explain things. It is so good.
You're
I'm like a boring like manuscript that goes into a peer-reviewed journal. You know what I mean? It's like take out all of the fluff and just the most
factually
boring
present.
right. Oh, it's so good.
And I
agree with-
bedazzle everything, right?
It's amazing. It's so good. That was awesome.
Thanks. That was really hard. Thank you for pushing me to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. What do you feel called to do in this world?
I think there's I think
I think.
because when I think about what I had said before, and it's like health and fitness and help others and all those different things, I don't think that's necessarily what we're called into the world, or how did you say that? I feel called to do or
Called to
be
do
in this world. I don't know that that's what I'm supposed to do in the world. I think I'm able to do those things I think what we're called to do in the world is take like some level of responsibility for ourselves and be like, it doesn't matter what it is. I remember talking to, God, what's his name? The Sodfather dude. What was his name? I always forget his name. Peter.
Which one?
Peter, goodness gracious. Talked to him at Symposium for
father?
Metabolic Health. Sodfather. He's the guy that he does like all the agricultural stuff. Peter.
Oh,
What's his
I have
last
no
name?
idea what you're talking about. I literally do not know this person.
You do, because he's super funny. It was a great conversation. I might
Oh, Peter Ballasted.
listed, right? And we were talking, and he was like, look, we can go out there and really try to change how everybody else eats and works out and like all these things, right? We can try to change their nutrition and their fitness and all those things. But what if everybody just focused on themselves? Like, what if we all just focused on how we eat, like our nutrition and our fitness, and think about that, like the impact there, you know what I mean? And it's like, yes, I think you can do both, but I guess my point is, I think we're called into the world to really work on ourselves and be the best version of ourselves, because then I can do whatever the hell I want to do to help people, or whatever my goals are, and whatever I think my calling is from that point, it's going to be much easier to achieve. But going
if you're
after
living authentically.
Right. So I think and I think what happens is we focus more on that goal and getting there than where we are right now and making ourselves better right now. So that's what I think. I don't know if that makes sense, but I think
I love that.
the calling in this world is to make yourself the best version of yourself. And then you can do whatever the hell you want to do.
And I think with going with that theme of making yourself the best version of yourself, I think the key there is to strip yourself of all these beliefs and these fantasies and these perceptions and this overthinking.
Strip yourself of all those things, but then it's also, I think, some level of acceptance and grace and openness
Yes.
to failure and mistakes and being
Yes.
wrong.
Humility.
I think those things, all, yeah, and it's an openness to pain and discomfort and struggle and suffering and all these things. And on top of that, not only being open to it, and this is something I had on day 5, but not only being open to it, but gleaning something from it. Because if you have all those experiences and you're not reflecting and learning something and carrying that on throughout your life, then what the hell were they there for?
100%. 100%. So what I said was, what do I feel called to do in this world? Share my message, have my voice heard, share this beautiful, messy experience of being alive openly and honestly, and find peace within myself.
I mean, it's a much better way to somewhat say what I said once again, but yes, yeah, totally. It's not like what I can do for other people yet. Like to some extent, it's really yourself first, and then you can do all those things, you know. But anyways, that was great, awesome.
I love that. Okay, the last question for that day was, I think, how can I use my strengths and passions to make a positive impact on the world around me? I think we answered that. Or not?
No, I think so. I mean, I think.
Oh, the one thing I did want to say is what I feel called to do in this world. Like, and I said this the first day we recorded, which was only a couple of days ago. Like, I found some kind of passion in this experience with you, recording this podcast and doing this work and sharing it, that has filled me in a way that I can't remember the last time I felt passion like this.
Yeah, that's cool. So what do you think that is?
What do you think
it is about it?
I think I'm actually showing up authentically. And so, and acknowledging myself in this process. And by acknowledging myself, I'm not needing to look for this external acknowledgement that leads me to feeling immense amounts of anxiety, fear, shame. You know, I'm sitting with myself in a way that's kind of uncomfortable, but I'm not alone.
No, I think that I feel this experience so far has been, yeah, I think it's been great. I think it is the idea of peeling the curtain back to some extent, right? And yeah, I mean, I think I'm pretty comfortable talking in front of people and talking to people, but not about me.
No, not at all. I mean, as you said, you share stuff in like a research proposal vibe. Which is completely the opposite to me, because I don't care about data and numbers. And so I think that's why we make such a good team, because like we're so opposite.
Yeah.
Yet we have the same message.
That's
interesting. Deliver it differently.
Way differently. Yeah.
I love it.
So good.
Okay. Moving on to day 5.
You have a lot more.
We have more questions.
No. Day 5 is a lot for me.
Okay, do it.
Do the whole, go with it.
I want to know the first question, and this was based on Rainier Wild's post, right?
God, he has some good ones, doesn't he?
Oh, you know that I discovered him only 2 days ago, and I sent him a message saying that I just fell in love with you. Maybe a little bit inappropriate, sure, but you know, whatever. Do you remember what the message was? His the saying.
Which one for this?
Yeah, for this day. What day is it? 5, right?
Yeah, I have it.
You do?
I believe so, yeah. Dead space on this Podcast. All right.
Oh, I've
Nothing
got
more
it.
attractive than someone who knows themselves and their values, right? Isn't it something about that?
He said, you know what is sexy as hell? Knowing what you're about and knowing where you're going in life, having preferences and perspectives and deep desires, not apologizing for your beliefs and standards, standing up for your values, saying them, which is what we were doing, being a self in this world, loving yourself. Now that's attractive.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know what? And that's the thing, right? So I would think that's the hardest thing to do. It's so
okay,
hard.
so wait, so going to the questions, okay? And this theme came up yesterday as well. Who am I? What did you write for
the
that?
5 words, this one was a little bit easier just because like I don't know why it was just easier because it's just easier to pick 5 words, I guess.
Well, who are you? Tell me, who am I?
Father, friend, student, and not a student as in like I go to school, but someone who's willing to learn. Athlete, and I think athlete more than just I work out, but I think the idea behind living at least a healthy life is treating yourself to some extent like an athlete, right? So sleep, recovery, nutrition, exercise, all those things need to be prioritized. And then I think resilient, because we've scratched the surface of some of my experiences, and I think my experience. Listen, everyone is experiencing very interesting things in their life, but there have been some pretty interesting chapters in this book that that I've bounced back from or gotten through. I think there's still things to work out there, but I will say, at least in terms of being resilient, I've had those experiences and I really don't regret any of them, including the hardest
Fucking
one.
love that.
I mean, it's true. I
I
think
love that.
there's as much as you want to work on yourself, and it's important to, like, I wouldn't be here and I wouldn't be the person I am today without those experiences, right? Like, it's just,
Yeah, it's shaped who you are, how you understand life, how you show up.
yeah. Well, and the willingness to look at yourself now and say, hey, I want to be better, is potentially a result of things that you or I have dealt with in the past.
Yeah.
Right. So.
And we've done some really hard things. We really have.
No.
So for me, who am I? So continuing on this thread of who I am versus how I want the world to see me. Why are you laughing? Because of my deep answer.
Because I wonder if yours will just be 5 words or like 5 phrases that, you know what I mean? Like, I'm really interested in hearing what this is.
Okay. When I ask myself who I am, I can list my roles, my masks, my failures and achievements.
I love how you write. I love how you describe it.
Stripped of those, who am I? Stripped of the roles, the ones you just listed. Who am I? Who are you?
Yeah.
Right?
That's exactly.
And where did I start losing myself? And so this brings me to this poem of Marianne Williamson's that I want to read. It's called Our Deepest Fear. I don't know if you know it. I quote it a lot. And I have the tattoo on my ankle, actually. Not the whole poem, because God, it would take up my whole leg. Okay, but here it is. So our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightening about shrinking so that other people won't feel unsure around you. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us, it is in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others.
Awesome.
Fucking beautiful,
That's
right?
absolutely amazing. Yeah.
It's
100%.
yeah.
It is so good, Guard. I love it. It's the
I know,
I
right?
wouldn't I love it. It's just it's great, you know. Like I have 5 words, and then you show up with a poem, which is an absolutely amazing poem, and really had some. It's funny, you know, like it had some. It was related to a lot of what we've already said, which is cool.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, I love the meaning of that.
Well, I think the big question and why I went there was who am I, right? It went very deep and far out. But essentially, who am I? Who are any of us? Like, we are children of God. And I'm not saying God in a religious way, but I do have spiritual beliefs. They aren't religious. But we are these beautiful beings at our core, each and every single one of us, right? That's who we are.
Yeah. Well, and I think that, from what I understand from hearing that once is I think it is easier to be less and
Yeah.
kind of
100%.
identify ourselves with the, let's call it the darker sides than, showing up and being bright and absolutely.
For so much of my life, like being an addict and an alcoholic, like I got so comfortable in the role of fucking up.
Yeah.
It
And
was so easy.
identifying.
Yeah.
Right.
But you know what's harder? Is putting in the effort and putting in the work and showing up and shining. That's harder.
Well, and then
because it's lonelier.
Exactly. Well, and it's you're way more exposed. It's lonelier. Yeah, I mean, then you are. It's harder to identify yourself as that. Like it's a change in identity.
Or coming back to a place of knowing.
Yeah. That's interesting. Super interesting.
Okay. Next one is it was about beliefs and standards. I don't remember the exact question, but this one really stumped me. I'm so curious to hear.
Well, we had the core values one.
Okay, core values. I was like, well, we just did this, so I know what they are. But do you want to go through that one?
We know what they are, right? So I think I went through them a lot. We can go to number 3. What are the beliefs and standards?
Yeah.
Why are they important to us? Yeah.
What are beliefs?
These are hard, these are hard questions because once again, I'm like, okay, what do you mean by beliefs and standards? Well, I'm not gonna, but anyways, like to me, it's something that I will live by is one of them is family first. Like that's really important to me. I don't know if you call that a belief or a standard, but to me, my family, these are the ones that, well, they know me the best and they're the ones that have been there for me no matter what. And through my 42 years with my family, we have dealt with some really interesting situations and behaviors from family members that would be seemingly unforgivable. Like, and I won't go into it, but if we were to explain these things, like you would think, how could you forgive a person that was willing to do that to their family? And the fact of the matter is, like, one, who else is going to?
Okay, but here's my question. Should you tolerate that kind of behavior? I don't know what it is that you're referring to.
Tolerance and forgiveness, I think, are 2 different things.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. That makes a ton of sense to me.
Tolerating the behavior when the behavior is taking place is considered being it's an enabling behavior to some extent, right? So you can not tolerate that behavior while it's taking place, but forgive the behavior when work is put in and change is made.
Yeah, totally. I mean, that is having compassion, empathy for people as well, because, you know, you see their behavior as something that can change, and it's not the core of who they are.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and I would say, I think it would be much harder for me to do that with somebody who wasn't a family member, but that's who, when somebody who's trying to change their life, like, who are they going to lean on? And if they don't have support from their own family, like, how, you know,
Yeah.
it's going to be, it's just like, who is there to support you through that changing process, regardless of what you did before. You know, so that was a big learning experience for me, because it wasn't easy to forgive. It hasn't been easy to forgive, but it's something I felt like I had to do. And that comes from that family first principle. I think the other one is just like, never stop learning.
So those are your beliefs or standards?
Never stop learning. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and like I said, these are very hard. I don't even know what beliefs and standards mean in this regard. But it is a belief of mine that, like, hey, you know, in terms of never stop learning, that change is okay. Like, we are allowed to change as people. I think it's important to be open-minded enough to listen to someone else's point of view and be willing to change. And I think that's the preventative factor of being an ideologue to some extent, which, let's be honest, is surrounding us everywhere.
Wow.
And then I think have faith. I think you have to have faith. I think there are things out there that are unexplainable. They can't be explained, and I think that's okay. They don't have to be.
I have a question. It's going to take us in a little bit of a tangent, but whatever. What do you believe? Okay, so with having faith, do you believe we come here and there is some kind of destiny? And what's the role of free will? Okay, maybe we should do another episode on just that at some point.
Yeah, destiny versus free will. I mean, that's it.
Or both.
I mean, I think we're all, yes. I don't know that there's like destiny where it's like every part of your life is mapped out to the end.
Yeah, I agree. I don't believe in that.
I think we're all destined for greatness in some regard, whatever, but we have the free will to make the decisions to get there or completely fuck it up.
And learn the lessons in either space.
You can learn the lessons, right?
Well, whichever, it's like that fork in the road again.
Yeah.
It's like we have that choice.
Yeah, for sure. And I think we've all probably come across things where it's like, how in the hell did this happen at this time? Like, what are the chances? And you seek an explanation. And I think sometimes you have to be okay with
having faith.
Having faith.
I love that.
Those are mine.
Great. Mine are, this is what happened. This question stumped me so badly.
Because it's very hard.
No, here's the thing. I couldn't even answer it. I was like, beliefs. Okay, core beliefs. I have my negative core beliefs. I shared them yesterday. At my core, I believe that I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. I'm no one's first choice. Like, I think those are the big three core beliefs that I operate my life according to, right? And
what if you just flip those?
I know. And that's what I'm trying to do here. So this weekend, I'm going to spend digging into that a little bit and trying to create another belief system by challenging my current one. Because here's the thing.
What are your values?
Identifying our beliefs.
Tell me your values again.
Okay. My values are family, freedom, abundance, success, and passion. And I should put security and stability there, because it's a big one. And it actually came up in the following question, in question number 3. Those values and how security and stability should be in my top 5.
Well, it's interesting because when I read about values, like there's this idea that it is your like subconscious belief system. It's your guidance.
Yeah.
And maybe you can bring some of that to the conscious level.
Yeah, totally. Because I'm operating according to these negative beliefs when I don't really need to.
Well,
I
that's the
actually
fork in
don't
the road.
believe
That's
them
like
to be
yeah,
true.
it's a impediment to moving forward.
And here's the
Because
thing,
if your
we just
values
found
guide you, and now your belief system is
it's
not
blocking it.
exactly. It's like that we talked about yesterday. It's like getting off track and not knowing where the hell you are anymore because you have no guidance.
Totally. And so this is like, I'm my own greatest enemy. And I just found the answer to unlocking all success in my life.
Well, there you go.
Solved.
It's already worth of a challenge.
I know, day 4, and we're so good. And then standards. I mean, you know, what are the rules I set for myself and follow? I don't fucking know, Mike.
Yeah.
I'm not living a life based on my value system. I don't know my beliefs, and I don't know the standards that I want to set for myself. I do to a degree. It's kind of wishy-washy, but isn't this something that I want to get really clear on? This is a mission statement for my life.
Yeah, for sure. Well, what are your wishy-washy standards? Like, what if you were to just start throwing stuff out there and see if it stuck, what would it be?
I need to do more work on this. I'm just going to ramble on and just talk shit, but I don't want to do that.
Okay.
I don't want to, I mean, yeah, be nice to people, be respectful, like boring shit that society tells me to do. But like, what does that really mean for me? Because I need a poem or some profound writing to describe this, and I don't have it, so it's not good enough.
Yeah, it's interesting because I guess like if I pull back the layers there into like, okay, I said these beliefs, and maybe they weren't beliefs, maybe they're more standards, but I guess I can look at that and say, well, I think there's some idea of, have empathy, be forgiving, because grudges suck. And that's their experience. I've seen what grudges have done to other family members in my family.
Well, it's toxic. It's that resentment. It's like drinking the poison and hoping somebody else is going to die.
Totally. And then I think when we've talked about this one, like you have to be able to learn from your experiences. Like you just have to, right? And then not everything needs to be explained. And I think that's an important one for me because I will try to explain everything.
Presenting that research proposal. With the data. Okay, let's move on to the third one because I thought this was going to be a shorter episode, but I mean, I feel like we like to talk. This one blew my mind even more. What are my deepest desires? What are yours?
They've come up quite a bit, it made me really think about them. So, I desire stability, and you start to think about that, or I started to think about that, and I'm like, okay, so what does that mean? It means, well, of course I want financial stability because that's safety to some extent for my kids and myself, but it's more than that. Like I want emotional and stability, and I want stability in a relationship, like that goes there too. But I also want to it's because if that's the sole focus, and then you're creating this false idea that you are going to protect yourself from life, because life is going to be full of failure, right? It's going to, it's failure, fear, pain, suffering, regret, or going after something and not getting, all those things are going to happen. So stability isn't avoiding those things. I think it's creating enough of a foundation to get through them, and then to appreciate and be fully present in those, call them good or happy times, right? Like, so that's the stability that I want to go after. So where those points of failure or those points of pain and those points of suffering aren't like completely debilitating and throw me so far off track that I can't get back on. Right.
I love that.
So
That's
because it's easy. Like
beautiful.
I've talked about it so much. I started to like get this false idea of like, well, I just want to protect myself from everything. Well, that's stupid, because you need those experiences.
Yeah,
Like
and
you
how you
need
can
failure,
experience,
you
yeah.
need suffering, you need pain. Like there's beauty in that for sure. Like if you understand it. Like what would life be if you never experience pain, suffering, heartbreak, all those different things? Like how can you appreciate the opposite without
Yes.
those?
Yes, I can only experience great joy because I've known great suffering.
Totally.
You
So,
know?
but you have to get through the suffering to experience the
Yes.
the joy and all that stuff that is the opposite of that, So anyways,
I
the
love
other one
that.
is I think life, my desire is like I want to continue to live a life full of experiences and adventure to some extent. I think life requires adventure, and we should never stop seeking that. It doesn't have to be adventure like you read it in a book, but it's, I don't know.
The adventure of doing this.
Yeah, everything can be an adventure. It's experiences. The way I see it is like the experiences you seek, that you desire, that you go after, for the most part, are ones with delayed gratification. They're the ones that you need to work for, right? Like, and that could be, I mean, it could be as simple as like, hey, I work and plan for this, to go on this amazing trip and see this amazing thing of beauty, and wow, what a life-changing experience. It could be work in creating a relationship with the person you have experiences with that make them so meaningful.
Yeah.
And I think like, well, that's something that I want to go after in life. But the other part is, and it's, there's always these reoccurring themes, but the other part is being open to maybe the experiences I don't seek out, but are also extremely impactful and life-changing. And those are the things we talked about. That is being open to pain, being open to discomfort, being open to disappointment, being open to,
setting your life on fire.
Exactly. But you have to, I need to be open to that, have some level of acceptance that those things will happen, but there has to be a lesson learned from it for those to be meaningful, right? Like there's something gleaned from it. There's something you learn from disappointment, discomfort, suffering, those types of things that make those meaningful. It's what did Viktor Frankl had something in his book. A
Man's Search for Meaning.
When he said, it was something about like, you've got to own your suffering to some extent, is I think what the premise of it was. Yeah. And it's like, you've got to own it. Like it's not only own it, but it needs to be worth something. Like if you went through all that and there's you didn't make it worth the suffering, then it's like, what the hell was it for? But
what was the point?
And then the other one is, and this is a big one, and this is like, because we said deepest desire. So maybe I don't have this yet, but I need it. And that's like self-love, acceptance, and grace. I think those things have to happen. I think
at the core.
Yeah, being able to be okay with faults and mistakes.
Humility.
Giving yourself permission to like be wrong, fail, make mistakes, and like, that's all right. It's part of this whole thing.
And I think that's like the core of living authentically. That.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, what were my deepest desires? So I took it very superficial, actually. But then I went deeper, obviously. So here's the thing that I will grasp for if somebody says to me, your life is great, what do you want? And I will say, to be in a long-term committed monogamous relationship. Okay, that is so superficial, because when I actually ask myself if I want to be in a relationship, I absolutely do not. Cannot think of anything worse than having to share a bed with someone, having to go to sleep at the same time, having to be mindful of waking up and not waking them up. I cannot think of anything worse. There's nothing I want less in this life right now than being in a relationship.
Right now.
Right now.
Is this
right
something
now.
you see changing, or is this is a pure what I desire right now?
Well, no. So this is something that I think will lead to, this is what I actually want. Not that. This is what I want. I want family. I want security. I want love. I want abundance. I want connection. And I want loyalty. That is what I want. Those are my deepest desires. Living according to those values are my deepest desire. How I think that's going to manifest is limiting me from achieving it. Because
so
I am saying
you're thinking
this is the solution.
Yeah.
And I'm putting all my eggs in one basket.
The relationship?
Yes, to bring about my values. And it's never, ever going to happen because I'm searching externally for something that needs to be found inside.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. That's interesting that you could break it down that way. Like, okay, relationship, monogamy, this, that, and then pick that apart and say, what is it I really, like, what is that? What do I, because yeah, maybe you do want that in the future, but what do I think that's going to give me right now?
Well, that's the thing. And also the big thing for me is that I have these preconceived ideas of how things are meant to happen in life. And when those don't get met, I feel like I've failed.
Oh, well, then we're with the
and here's the thing with the universe and faith and stuff that you were talking about is I need to step back and be open to those needs and those values being met in a way different to the one that I think is going to happen. I am so self-centered in my approach to life and living and experiencing that I'm shutting myself off from so many incredible experiences. And here's the thing. So I sell myself a fantasy once again, desperately seeking for meaning and purpose from living according, So I sell myself a fantasy once again, desperately seeking for the meaning and purpose from living in accordance to my values. Oh, wait. Okay, wait. I don't even know what I wrote. Just wait. Oh, so I sell myself a fantasy once again, desperately seeking for meaning and purpose externally instead of living in accordance to my values from within.
Totally. Falling in love. Yes. I mean, that's the thing. It's
falling in love with the experience of being alive. As I am right now.
It's interesting with these exercises because I'll write some of these things and just be like, wow, it really, without doing it purposefully, they end up matching those top 5 values.
Right.
And those top 5 values were not things that I listed as my top 5. Like, well, here's the top 5. I know I'm off my head. Remember, I told you that.
Yeah.
It was working with Andy and telling stories of times where I felt like things were moving in the right direction and then extracting these common elements.
Yeah.
And saying, these are your top 5. And then you start to see them in all these explanations. And it's like, wow, it's like pretty spot on. It's crazy.
It's amazing. My other big one that I always which I sit in a lot of fear about constantly is money. So I need to make more money. And actually, when I look at what that means, it once again means security, safety, stability, abundance, and fun.
Yeah, experience. Yeah, absolutely.
Experiences, like having those experiences. And so my question should be, how do I really fill these from within?
Yeah, now look, right.
So my desire is to live authentically. My desire is to get to know myself. My desire is to fully accept and acknowledge that everything that I want, I already possess.
Absolutely.
And so
it's interesting because then Well, and then the opportunities are endless,
And we
right?
don't have to externalize it.
And
We have it.
and then it's well, and then you're this, you have this, you're set up, and you have this, call it relationship with yourself that allows you to build stronger and more meaningful relationships with others, because you're not looking for them to fulfill those things in you, because you already have.
Spot on.
And then there's like growth together, like you grow together, that's a very interesting thing. Yeah. Super interesting.
Okay, we've gone over an hour, so I think let's end it here. And any closing remarks?
No, I don't think so. I think it's funny because, yeah, like doing this now, like I feel more relaxed. So I need to be answering these questions and really digging into things earlier in the day. I think, there's something about at night when the lights go down, and it's dark, and you write all that stuff out, and then it's like,
it's that existential crisis that I had when I was 4.
Exactly. What does it all mean? Who am I? But no, this has been great. I love it.
I love it. I feel honestly like I'm like, my day is done. Like I achieved absolutely everything I want to achieve today. I'm good.
It's crazy because I get to these points when we're talking where I can't really say anything because I'm like processing it so much. I'm like, wow. Like it just, yeah, it's interesting. I just stare off into space and I'm like, wow, my mind is just going nuts. But we'll hang up and I'll write some stuff down and we'll be ready for the next one.
Perfect. Okay, until next time.
Awesome.
Oh, wait.